In this episode of Falmouth in Focus, we take a walk through Beebe Woods to celebrate Juneteenth with the Woods Hole Diversity Committee, catch the colorful splendor of the Cape Cod Hydrangea Festival, and visit a Village Green June tradition as it celebrates its 70th anniversary. All this and much more on this edition of Falmouth in Focus.
Hello and welcome to Falmouth in Focus, FCTV's current affairs program. I'm your host, Michael Kasparian. The Upper Cape Women's Coalition recently organized a protest on the Village Green after the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade last week. The decision has polarized the nation, sparking protests and rallies across the country.
And I really am truly proud to see all of you here. And I'm truly proud of the Massachusetts Senate, which has passed and is passing legislation to protect caregivers in Massachusetts. Legislation that will help provide resources for women who have to come to Massachusetts for abortion care. So I couldn't be more proud of the Massachusetts Senate. But like many of you, yesterday, I woke up, had a cup of coffee, walked the dog, and ended the day with our daughters having fewer fundamental rights. Make no mistake, it's not about families or babies. This decision is about power over women. It's not about the health of women, or they would fund free national safe clinics for education, screenings, and pap smears. It's certainly not about families, as we would have national free prenatal care appointments and care for the inevitable medical emergencies. And it's not about equity, as the wealthy and privileged will always be able to travel for safe abortions, while the poor will either have to carry an unwanted pregnancy or die from a botched one. It's not about children, as women all over this country are forced back to work days after giving birth. They let our kids go hungry with no help for daycare, and let's face it, they can't even protect our kids from gunmen at recess. Women, make them hear our rage. Talk about rage, little asterisks here. I see my friend Megan English Braga, one of the bravest, most serving women in Falmouth. Love and hugs to you, my dear, along with many friends here. But now is the time for us to turn our rage into action. No one's coming to save us. It's up to us to save ourselves. Today is the first step. Vote like your life depends on it.
Yes, yes, yes.
Because it does. Protest, tell your story, make art, talk to your friends and neighbors, and protest again and again. Don't let them ever forget that women's rights are human rights. It's a marathon. We will grind them into seeing the truth. Women's rights are human rights.
Yes.
Every election matters. I want you to run for office, any office, school boards, town meeting, anything that makes your voice heard. As your state senator, I will continue to be one of those voices and will advocate for policies that protect the rights of women in Massachusetts. Help me fight this. I want to be part of an army of allies working together to push back and make our voices heard, the majority voices. It's not enough to tell them no further. Massachusetts is thus far a safe state, but the way the court is going, make no mistake, they're coming for us. We have to push back. We must win. Say it with me. Women's rights are human rights. Women's rights are human rights.
Saturday's event drew a crowd of about 300 people to the Green. Many of the speakers urged listeners to exercise their democratic rights by voting and running for office. The latest reports show that COVID-19 case counts have leveled off and are trending down in the town of Falmouth, with the COVID-19 community level in Barnstable County declining again this week compared to previous weeks. There are plenty of vaccine and testing capabilities available, and the CDC recently approved booster shots for 5 to 11-year-olds, which should be rolling out soon. The Friday briefings by Falmouth's health agent Scott McGann are a good way to stay informed on the latest local, state, and federal guidance. You can view the briefings on FCTV Government Channel 15, our Facebook page, and fctv.org. It's time now for 3 things from Town Hall, FCTV's condensed version of the takeaways from recent municipal meetings. Selections are chosen based on community impact.
On Tuesday, June 21st, the Select Board held a special public hearing to consider the removal of Town Manager Julian Suso. The hearing allowed for the board to put forth their reasons for consideration of removal and also allowed Mr. Suso to respond to those reasons. In the board's next meeting, there was a vote to remove the town manager with 4 members in favor and 1 member abstaining.
For the hearing required under the Charter, Section 510, where the Select Board and the Town Manager shall have the power to call and cross-examine witnesses and to subpoena any and all town records relative to the actions of the Board of Selectmen to initiate the removal of the Town Manager.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
I motion to remove the town manager pursuant to C5-10F of the Falmouth Town Charter to be effective July 12th, 2022.
Patterson, second.
So I have a motion, and I'm going to do a roll call vote. Patterson.
Patterson, aye.
Brown.
Brown, aye.
Scott Price.
Scott Price, aye.
Zelinski.
Madam Chair, I'm going to abstain.
Taylor, aye.
Wastewater Superintendent Amy Lowell presented an updated draft to the Select Board detailing the Great Pond Targeted Watershed Management Plan. Ms. Lowell gave a background on the draft plan and stated the reason for presenting to the Select Board this evening is that the draft is ready to be sent to the state.
Since the last discussion, the engineer working for the town and the Water Quality Management Committee and the Department of Public Works have been putting the work into a plan that is now ready to, a draft plan that is now ready to send to the state. So in the background on this project is that the town submitted what's a document called a Notice of Project Change to the state in 2019, and that provided an update on West Falmouth Harbor and on Little Pond, the planning work for those, and conceptual plans for all the other planning area watersheds.
Acting Town Manager Peter Johnson Staub addressed the issue of the lack of curbside trash and recycling removal in town. Mr. Johnson Staub stated that Republic Services has been unable to complete daily pickups and therefore the contract has been transferred to Waste Connections starting July 1st.
We do know that there is quite a bit of frustration, and rightfully so, in the community because Republic Services has been unable to complete all their pickups on a daily basis. They simply have not been able to deploy the number of trucks needed on a daily basis to get the daily routes done, and therefore they fall behind and they can't catch up. The good news on the horizon is that the contract has been transferred from Republic Services. That's the operator that has had the town contract for many years. That's going to change this July 1st to Waste Connections.
To see the meetings in their entirety, check out Government Channel 15's program schedule at fctv.org. After a short break, we'll visit a reenactment of Juneteenth on the library lawn, visit a new DPW installation, and take a look at a new mural destined for the halls of Falmouth High School. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Lynn of St. Barnabas Episcopal Church in Falmouth, and I want to personally invite you to our famous Lobster on the Lawn Festival. This is one of Falmouth's most popular events and will be held on 4 consecutive Mondays, starting July 18th, 25th, August 1st, and August 8th from 4:30 to 6:30 on the great lawn of St. Barnabas's across from the Falmouth Village Green. Enjoy a lobster roll made with a special St. Barnabas's recipe, along with chips, a dessert, and bottled water, plus the fellowship of villagers and visitors. This year, we're adding live music for all ages in partnership with Summer at St. Bees. Hope to see you at the Lobster on the Lawn Festival, starting July 18th.
Welcome back to Falmouth in Focus. FCTV spoke with Department of Public Works Director Peter McConaty about the new fuel tanks that were recently installed at the DPW headquarters. Mr. McConaty explains the advantages of the new system and details some of their new features.
Peter McConaty, Director of Public Works, here at our new fuel facility at Public Works. It was constructed in 2021. They did a design build contractor, came down, and we worked with the town engineering division, our division, the highway division. We had a contractor come in and remove our previous existing 2 10,000-gallon fuel tanks and install 2 new 10,000-gallon fuel tanks. We have a 10,000-gallon diesel tank and a 10,000-gallon gasoline tank, fully equipped with an overhead canopy, additional fire suppression, and LED lighting for nighttime fueling. Makes it a lot easier during storms, for the fire department, for the police department when they have to fuel in the evening hours. Plenty of light, or in adverse weather where you can get underneath the canopy and you can clean off your vehicle in snowstorms and what have you. So the system went operational in August of 2021. And it's been up ever since, where we have no issues with it. It's been working very well. And as you can see in the back, towards the back of the parking lot, we're over by the white cars over there was where our existing 2 10,000-gallon fuel tanks were. And we had to make a pavement line and cut all the parking lot basically from the building over to the edge of the wood line, and going up all the way up towards the roadway and repave this whole area. So it was quite a project. It took approximately, I'd say probably 14 months to complete, but it's up and running and it works beautiful. We have a lot of compliments on it throughout town. This is our 10,000-gallon diesel. These are above ground fuel tanks we put in, and the reason we went above ground is because the new DEP regulations with underground fuel tanks, a lot of the municipalities, a lot of the state agencies, they're all going with the above ground containment. It's much easier. You're not after dealing with the underground with any leaks or any. It's a lot easier to do our annual testing for the Mass DEP, so it works out well. So when the trucks show up, they show up and they actually fill from the top of the tank. There's uploads to the tank. You can see the upfills for the tank. So it's much easier instead of the underground. The underground fuel tanks we had problems with. We had leaks in years past, and it took us multiple years with the Mass DEP and multiple years of reporting to get through that. Back in 2007, we had a underground fuel leak with our previous tanks. And we had to do monitoring on that for 13, 15 years. It just became very problematic. So when we did this work, we made sure that we went above ground. Takes up a little more real estate in our parking lot, but the above ground just works out much better for the town that we have that there. As you can see, of course, we have the bollards that go up and down the parking lot too, so when the vehicles pull up, the dispensers and the tanks, the fill lines, they're all behind the bollards so they will not get hit by vehicles. And everything works out well. Well, you can see the pipes that come down from the canopy for the drainage. That all ties into our existing drainage system in the parking lot, and it's all self-contained. We actually really have had no problems with it. One additional change order we did do with the project is add the fire suppression in the overhead canopy. It was the right thing to do. In a system this large and this size, you don't want to be using fire extinguishers. So this is full fire suppression throughout all four, both tanks and all four fueling dispensers. So that will work hopefully we'll never have to use it, but that'll work out very well for us and for the fire department. The fire department liked it. As you can see, it's getting a little loud. We have one of our fueling trucks over there. I think it's one of our landscaping trucks from the Parks Department fueling up. But all day long, this is busy. You have police, fire, public works, and marine environmental services all fill up here during the day. So, and town hall vehicles, building, assessors, conservation. So it's basically all the town departments that fill up at this department.
The DPW program can be seen in its entirety on FCTV Government Channel 15. Check out Government Channel 15's program schedule at fctv.org for replay times. Thanks to Jeff Wyman for that piece. The Strawberry Festival celebrated its 70th year under the big white tent at St. Barnabas' Episcopal Church on the Falmouth Village Green, billed as a family-friendly, fun event. FCTV stopped by to sample some of the local fare and speak to some of the volunteers about the importance of this year's event.
We are here on Falmouth Village Green at St. Barnabas Episcopalian Church. This is our 70th annual Strawberry Festival, and we have tons of food. We have some informational booths of some people that work kind of in the town, and then we have an antique table, we have a book table, we have a jewelry table, we've got kids games, strawberry shortcake, of course, homemade strawberry jam that we make right here at the church, and so many fun things to offer. It is so amazing being back here at St. Barnabas for the Strawberry Festival. My dad and I were just talking about how nice it is to see so many people out and enjoying. We've been doing this for a very, very long time. My father's been doing the food here for many years. So it's been great just seeing, so many people, so many smiling faces, parishioners coming back, people from the community that come every year and are excited to be back as well.
Well, it's a beautiful day, and I think we've all been stuck in a house for too long. And it's just great seeing hundreds and hundreds of people outside gathering, eating delicious strawberry shortcake. I always drive by it and I'm like, oh gosh, it was yesterday. So this year we wanted to make sure, and I had it on my calendar so I wouldn't miss it. And we're lucky the weather's perfect.
I am the chair of the bake sale table for the Strawberry Festival today. This is our 70th year. Being back is such a pleasure. It's been so nice to see new faces and old faces alike. Lots of people take part in this. It's a big joint effort to put this together, and it's just a lot of fun.
There are a number of events throughout the summer taking place on the St. Barnabas lawn. For more information, visit their website, stbfalmouth.org. Thanks to Conrad Johnson for that story. Juneteenth is often cited as African American Independence Day, a special day of recognition by many municipalities and states, and now a federal holiday. The observances commemorate June 19, 1865, the day the Emancipation Proclamation was finally enforced in Texas, the last of the seceding states to be occupied by the Federal Army. To commemorate this year's event, the Woods Hole Diversity Committee sponsored a contemplative walk through Beebe Woods in collaboration with Highfield Hall and Gardens. We stopped by to speak with the organizers to learn more about this event.
Highfield Hall and Gardens is here for the community, and we'd like to partner with organizations in order to be accessible. And I reached out to the Woods Hole Diversity Advisory Committee, asking if there was something we could do for Juneteenth up here. We worked with Kwanzaa Johnson, who was on the committee at the time. Wonderfully, she just won the 2022 John K. Ballard Diversity Award for her sustained work on behalf of diversity, equity, and inclusion in Woods Hole. So very honored to be able to work with her on putting this event together. So it was her suggestion that as part of the celebrations of Juneteenth that we could have a freedom walk here on these beautiful grounds. The gardens of Highfield and the Beebe Woods surrounding the gardens are just an ideal place to have a contemplative walk and think about what freedom means to us, and then meet under the tent afterwards and have a discussion.
Juneteenth is something that has been celebrated here in the region for some time. The DAC has really supported this work in the last couple of years since its inception. The committee has, through the years since its inception, supported the various diversity work happening in the region. Juneteenth is a time of celebration for a lot of people, but it's also a very somber occasion, and having a really meditative, reflective walk at these gardens is really just an excellent partnership. As we think about making Woods Hole and Falmouth an inclusive community, making sure that that history, that we know all of those pieces to the story, is part of making sure that we become more inclusive.
We would love to continue this next year and perhaps expand on what we can offer here. We'd like to collaborate with our fellow community members in any way we can, because it makes us all stronger to work together. Please visit our Highfield Hall and Gardens website, highfieldhall.org. We have music and art programs and things for kids to do and floral programs and author talks and a wide variety of events. June 25th, we're having Hounds at Highfield, a free community event, so come on up with your dog and have a good time.
To learn more about Juneteenth, catch the latest episode of The Conversation on FCTV this Friday evening at 6 p.m. or Sunday at 8 p.m. Thanks to Max Sykes for that piece. We're going to take a quick break, and when we return, we'll visit the unveiling of a new mural created by Falmouth High School students. Stay with us.
Hello, my name is Judy Laster. I'm the founder and director of the Woods Hole Film Festival. The Woods Hole Film Festival takes place each summer from the last Saturday of July through the first Saturday of August. This year, the 31st Woods Hole Film Festival will be held from Saturday, July 30th through Saturday, August 6th, as both an in-person event and a virtual online festival. The films and events will be held in venues in Woods Hole and Falmouth. The Woods Hole Film Festival is rated among the top 100 film festivals in the country, and throughout the 8-day event, we screen approximately 150 films selected from submissions received from around the world that we think represent the best in emerging independent film. In addition to the daily screenings, the festival offers special events, filmmaker chats, panel discussions, master classes, music, parties, and more. There's really something for everyone. Members enjoy discounts and priority seating, and individual tickets go on sale July 1st. The entire program will be available for you to look at on our website, so check it out, peruse the films, and come join us at the 31st Woods Hole Film Festival.
Welcome back. Falmouth High School recently hosted a mural unveiling depicting connections to the Wampanoag tribe and the diversity present in the FHS community. Created by student artists from the Racial Social Justice, Diversity, and GSA clubs, with assistance from artist Jackie Reeves, here's a first look at this project.
Right after the horrific murder of George Floyd, we realized we wanted to do something. We were talking to students. We actually started the Clippers for Racial and Social Justice group, which was all virtual. We kept talking about what can we do, and one student in that group, Noah Pring, who has since graduated, came up with the idea of doing a racial and social justice mural project. We just thought that this mural project would bring people together and be a unifying event for our school. So we got the grants, we got the artists, and Ms. Reeves began meeting with Mr. St. Julian and Ms. O'Brien and the students.
It was a moving experience. Jackie's done a fantastic job. Some of the pictures up here are the process of. Some of them are, sort of Jackie thinking out loud on paper and or on her iPad, which is amazing.
It was a lot of improv. We were making things up as we went along, which is a very normal art process. So we didn't really know how we were going to get the kids fully involved. So that part for me was like, well, I'll be down there in the calf painting. Whoever shows up, we'll give them a brush and let them have it. Let them have at it. So, and of course the planning process was the best. You know, a lot of the work when it comes to doing a mural like this comes in the preliminary stuff, the stuff that the behind the scenes that you all talked about. And then the fun stuff, the painting, is like never seems like enough time for that. You know, like you could spend a lot more time doing that if you had the time, but we kind of ran out of time. It was wonderful to just be, like, as a facilitator of this, my favorite part is when the kids come and they get a paintbrush and they're painting, suddenly I become invisible. I'm like a fly on the wall, it's like I'm not there. And they start talking to each other and they're listening to music and they're having fun. They're talking about what they're painting, and we, impromptu started coming up with ideas for other murals and themes that were of concern to kids. And that's the best part for me. It's like, this is how we really ideally want to see a mural project unfold, is just very organically and just like giving the young people a voice through art.
After going on display at the Falmouth Public Library over the Juneteenth weekend, the murals will now go on to be permanently displayed at Falmouth High School. Thanks to Ryan Weber for that story. The annual Cape Cod Hydrangea Festival is returning to celebrate the iconic flower that helps make the Cape so colorful from July through September. We spoke with the president of the Falmouth Garden Club, Suzanne Buzanowski, about this year's event.
We're here in the Colonial Gardens at the Museums on the Green today because it is so amazingly beautiful. It tells our story. Cape Cod has a hydrangea festival every year, and this year, as we do every year, the event takes place on Friday, July 8th and Saturday, July 9th. From 10 to 4. There are 3 gardens and they're very close to one another. There's a $5 admission charge for cash. You'll be greeted at the gateway of each garden by Falmouth Garden Club members who will send you on your way. What I'd like you to know about this beautiful colonial garden is that it is maintained and planned by the members of the Falmouth Garden Club. Each Wednesday you will see dirt diggers, as we call ourselves, out here trimming the bushes and weeding and watering and just making this area absolutely beautiful for the community of Falmouth to enjoy. It's these same members who are offering their gardens, 3 of them, for the public viewing on this Hydrangea Festival tour. That's why it's a must-see. The Falmouth Garden Club, in addition to designing and planting and maintaining the colonial garden at the Museums on the Green, we also maintain the memorial garden in the back, the herb garden on the other side of the Wicks House here. We maintain the butterfly garden, and we're refurbishing the Blue Star Byway garden out by the street. In addition, the Falmouth Garden Club has its fingers in the dirt all over town. Anywhere we can pull a weed, we do. If you're interested in our 3 gardens, please come and see us on July 8th and July 9th, and you may visit our website at www.falmouthgardenclub.org for more information.
The Cape Cod Hydrangea Festival starts July 8th, and the Falmouth Garden Tours will be on July 8th and 9th. Thanks to Max Sykes for that piece. The 4th of July fireworks makes a welcomed return after a 2-year hiatus. Fireworks will be launched from a barge off Falmouth Heights Beach and can be viewed off Falmouth's south-facing beaches. The show starts around 9 p.m. on Monday, July 4th, and will run for about a half hour. For more information, visit falmouthfireworks.org. FCTV wants to remind you that television can be as easy as hitting record on your smartphone. We'd like to invite all Falmouth residents and visitors to share their slice of life with us. Email us your photos and videos, or upload them to Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram using the hashtag MyFalmouth or Falmouth in Focus to be featured on the show. Thank you to our most recent contributors. And we leave you now with scenes from the recent recital at T-Ticket Elementary School. Thank you for watching Falmouth in Focus. We'll see you next time.